You're walking into Costco right now, thinking you're getting the same legendary deals you got 3 years ago. You aren't. In fact, if you just grab that red and white label off the shelf like you always do, you might be falling for the biggest invisible shift in Kirkland history. Most people see the Kirkland Signature logo and think quality at a discount. But as we kick off 2026, the rules have changed. There are products hitting the floor this month that look identical to the ones you love, but the ingredients, the manufacturers, and even the packaging hacks are hiding a reality that's going to cost you, either at the register or in the kitchen. I've spent the last 15 years obsessing over supply chains and private label manufacturing. I've tracked the ships, I've read the quarterly earnings calls you'd find boring, and I've tested more white label dupes than I care to admit. I'm telling you this because I've seen what's happening behind the scenes at Issaquah, and some of these new 2026 launches are, well, they're not what they seem. I know you're loyal to the brand. I am too. But my loyalty is to your wallet, not a corporate logo. Take the massive change everyone is buzzing about in the meat department. You've probably seen the viral clips of the new terrible chicken packaging. Everyone is celebrating like it's the invention of the wheel, because you finally don't have to play surgeon with a pair of kitchen shears just to separate a drumstick. But here's the secret. While they made it easier to separate the packs, they didn't make them easier to open. You still need those scissors, and meanwhile, the price of that convenience is being baked into a rising cost per pound that most shoppers are completely ignoring because they're distracted by the fancy new plastic. And it gets worse when we move over to the bakery and the snack aisles. We're seeing a wave of premium 2026 drops, like the blueberry caramelized cheesecake croissants and those new Lunar New Year Scotch releases that are designed to make you feel like you're winning the treasure hunt. But before you toss that 3-pound bag of milk chocolate almonds into your cart, you need to know who is actually making them this year. There's a reason the flavor profile shifted slightly this month, and if you aren't paying attention to the manufacturer's mark, you're essentially paying a premium for a luxury item that just underwent a major supply chain swap. Now you might be asking, Cody, it's just Costco. Is it really that deep? It is when the average family is spending 15% more on staples this year due to the 2026 tariff shifts. I'm not here to tell you to stop shopping at Costco. I'm here to make sure you're shopping smart. Stick with me, because what I'm about to show you regarding the 2026 price hike list is going to change the way you look at the warehouse forever. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and stop overpaying for membership perks that are actually just clever marketing, hit that subscribe button. I'm breaking down the raw data so you don't have to. We need to talk about the trap items, those shiny new releases that are designed to capitalize on your Costco fever while quietly offering less value than the classics they're replacing. If you've walked past the bakery lately, you've probably smelled the blueberry caramelized cheesecake croissants. They are everywhere on social media right now. People are calling them life-changing. And look, I get it. Anything with caramelized and cheesecake in the title is going to pull you in. But here's the reality check. At nearly $2 a pastry, you're paying a massive premium for what is essentially a standard Kirkland croissant with a dollop of filling and a sugar glaze. In 2026, Costco is leaning hard into these assembled premium goods. They take 2 or 3 existing low-cost components, put them together, and charge you a 40% markup for the convenience of not doing it yourself. It's a delicious trap, but a trap nonetheless. Then there's the chocolate chip cookie bar cake. It looks like a masterpiece in the refrigerated case, but let's look at the weight-to-price ratio. At $18.99 for 2.5 pounds, it's one of the most expensive per-pound items in the bakery history. It's essentially a vehicle for sugar and mousse. Compare that to the legendary sheet cakes, or even the new chocolate brownie walnut pie, and you'll see where your money actually goes further. Now, let's pivot to the sleeper hits. The 2026 products that are actually worth the hype because they solve a real problem. The biggest winner this year is the grilled Chipotle seasoned chicken. If you're a meal prepper, listen up. For years, we've had to settle for the rotisserie chicken, which is great, but it's a mess to debone, and the sodium levels are through the roof. This new Chipotle chicken is pre-cooked, diced, and actually has a flavor profile that rivals high-end fast casual bowls. It's $4 or $5 more than a whole rotisserie, but when you factor in the 20 minutes of labor you save and the lack of waste, it's one of the few convenience items that actually pays for itself in 2026. But here's where you need to be careful: the Kirkland Signature vitamins. I've been tracking a major shift in their sourcing for 2026. You've probably noticed the labels looking a bit cleaner, with more organic and non-GMO callouts. This is great, right? Not always. While the quality remains high, most are still USP verified. The bottle counts are shrinking. Take the vitamin D3. It used to be a 600 count staple for under $12. In several regions, we're seeing that shift to a 400 or 500 count bottle for the same price. It's the classic shrinkflation move. But because the bottle size looks the same on that massive warehouse shelf, most people aren't checking the pills per dollar metric. I know this sounds like I'm nitpicking, but stick with me. These small shifts are how Costco is protecting its margins in a year where global shipping and labor costs are hitting record highs. And speaking of costs, we have to address the ghost items, the fan favorites that are quietly disappearing to make room for these newer, higher margin products. If you haven't seen the Kirkland Signature sports drinks or those frozen sirloin patties lately, there's a reason for that. And it's not just a temporary supply chain issue. But wait, there's one more change in the food court that is actually a massive win for your wallet, and almost nobody is talking about the math behind it. So, how do you actually win the Costco game in 2026? It's not about buying less. It's about knowing the golden rule of the modern warehouse, the label swap strategy. See, in 2026, Costco is aggressively replacing name brands with Kirkland Signature versions to dodge those 15-20% tariff hikes hitting the big guys. When you see a name brand disappear, like we've seen with certain sports drinks and snacks recently, don't panic. Wait 3 weeks. Usually, a Kirkland version pops up that is literally the same formula, often from the same factory, but at the 2024 price point. That is your inflation hedge. But here's the food court secret I promised you, and it's a numbers game that most people are losing. Costco just fully rolled out membership scanners at the food court kiosks. The days of non-member $1.50 hot dogs are officially over. While that might annoy some, it's actually a massive win for you, the paying member. Why? Because it's keeping the line shorter and ensuring the $1.50 price point stays locked in through 2026. But the real pro move is the executive reward hack. With the 2024 fee increase now fully settled, your executive 2% reward cap has been bumped to $250. If you aren't using the new 2026 pre-scan technology where employees scan your cart while you're still in line, you're wasting time. Use that saved time to check the end cap clearance, those items ending in 97. In 2026, these aren't just random markdowns. They are often test products that didn't hit the viral metrics and are being liquidated at below cost. Before you head out to your local warehouse, remember this. The Kirkland brand is your friend, but the new 2026 Kirkland releases are the warehouse's way of testing your price sensitivity. Check the pills per dollar on your vitamins, watch for those assembled bakery markups, and always, always look for the manufacturer's mark on those new premium drops. I'm Cody, and if you found this deep dive helpful, do me a favor. Share this with that one friend who spends way too much at Costco. Let's keep each other's wallets full. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.